My message tonight is to instruct on putting God in front of your mouth with the use of particular words. For example, you are invited to supper at your mother-in-law's, and you enjoy a lovely meal, and afterwards you say, "Mom, the lasagna was unbelievable. It was incredible." Now, be careful, because unbelievable means that you went there with the perception that it's not going to be nice. You went there and you said to yourself, she doesn't have a clue how to make lasagna. So be careful and incredible. And the English language is terrible when it comes to these type of things, because you never know when to use particular words. Another one is the word, obviously. To translate that into Afrikaans, it's the word mos. So if someone says, "Why weren't you at the meeting last 2 weeks ago?" And then you say, "I was mos in Durban." Obviously, I was obviously in Durban. Now that means you are telling the person who raised that question, "You should have known, you moron. I was obviously in Durban. How can you ask a question like that?" And that's where you need to be so careful. Now that brings me to something that happened in my life many, many moons ago when I was still young and looked a lot leaner. My best friend got married, was getting married, and he said, "Would you be my master of ceremonies?" And not having had the benefit of Toastmasters 35 years ago, I did say yes, but I was seriously nervous. But being a bank manager at that point in time, very strong in operations and administration and that type of thing, I took on the task. I never even went to the wedding. I went directly to the venue where the reception, to the reception venue. Walked in there. I was 3 hours ahead of time, and I asked, "Who's in charge?" I forgot to mention that the venue for the reception was at the Baffiaanspoort, the Vongenis. So they've got like an area there where they have functions and whatever. It's a prison, and it's their sort of little clubhouse where this was held. And they said, "Major Tennyson is in charge here. Can I speak to him?" I said, "The greatest of pleasure." I went to call him. He came out and he was all parade. He had a moustache that couldn't fit through the door. And I said to him, "I'm the master of ceremonies, sir. And I'd just like to make sure that we get the arrangements organized that is suitable for your establishment." And he said, "Meneer, whatever happens, I don't care. But one thing your guests must be careful of is they mustn't tip the waiters. They must not leave their handbags and cameras on the tables. And they must be careful not to go alone to the gents." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because these are prisoners, these are criminals. They are here because they're criminals, and they're going to get up to mischief. Should they get a tip, they have money, and they're going to steal the stuff. So make that message clear." And I said, "Yes, no problem." Now bear in mind, the message tonight is, be careful the use of your words, your choice of words. In any event, Everyone arrived from the church, whatever. I was on my 4th double brandy and coke already. And I was revved up to make sure that this is going to be one of the best events. Everyone seated down, and as like a sergeant at arms, I explained where the toilets were, and whatever. And then I said, now it's very important tonight. Please ensure that you do not tip the waiters. Do not give them any money. Look after your belongings. Don't take your jacket off and hang it over the chair. Just make sure that you hang onto your cameras and don't leave your wallets hanging around and your handbags. It's extremely important. And I should have stopped there, but I didn't. I'm a guy that I'm a human type of person. And then I used the word because. Now, because in that setup meant I needed to say something more. And I didn't want to say, because these are criminals and they could kill each other and they're going to create havoc. So I said, because, and I paced around the stage and I said, because these people live here. Everyone burst out laughing, and that was the greatest joke of the evening. I'm going to leave you with one final message, and that is the use of the word actually. And this is now directed at Mr. Miller, my evaluator. Be careful when you use the word actually. Because if you should say tonight, Mr. Miller, that Mr. Jevon, you actually gave a very nice speech, it means that you weren't expecting it to be so nice. And I know it was great, Mr. Toastmaster.